I'm going to be showing you Big Determination, which is my new deck that I've been working on for Undercards, which seems like the best deck I've made that's fun, but is still viable so far. Not like boring but overpowered, or fun but like unusable. It's got a nice midpoint. So anyway, I was looking at Coffin thinking, this is surprising. I've never seen anyone use this card, but surely this is going to have a really high ceiling. And now I kind of see why no one's using it. It's a very difficult card to use in Undercards, because I was thinking, if this was in Hearthstone, people would go crazy over this. I mean, just look at Big Priest. But I start to see the differences between this and Hearthstone, and yeah, I see why it's not played that much. But still, this can often summon 10/10s like Glide, or resummon Onis for 4, or you can just it can pop out a Papyrus to clear the board, or it can just be like a taunt. But taunts in this game, surprisingly, if you haven't checked, because I checked when I made this deck, they're pretty weak in this game. The strongest taunt in the game is Gift Trot, who's just an 8/5/8 taunt death rattle, bleh, dust draw a card. I've only recently been playing Hearthstone like a little bit more. I've been trying to give it another chance, and now I'm bleh. Well, anyway, so yeah, I'm running one taunt in this deck. The taunts are all really weak, so I really didn't want to run any, but this deck does fail without taunts. And even though it's only one taunt, instantly, as soon as I added this taunt to the deck, it basically saved it. And that was Coffee Man. Coffee Man both providing silence, the first thing that was missing from this deck, and taunt, the second thing, is very important in this deck, even though it completely counteracts it. You've got to try and save it for as long as possible, though, or until you've played all your coffins. Otherwise, it can kind of mess up the rest of your deck. I'm going to keep talking about the deck, but I'm just going to start looking for a game, because I'm thinking I might try and sneak 2 games in. Because this deck usually has one game where it wins usually this deck either runs... Bleh. Usually, this deck either wins ridiculously fast, or it goes like multiple turns into fatigue. There's no real midpoint with this deck. Either you get an Oni down straight away and no one can kill it, and if they can, you instantly coffin and then they can't deal with it. So yeah, either basically no one can deal with the Oni/Glide that you play as early as possible, and then if they can only deal with one, and the second one comes from the coffin, and they're like, okay, whatever, I surrender. Or they survive that, and then you mow them down with your legendaries, because they're basically almost every legendary in the game is in this deck. I mean, hell, I'm even running thingy. I mean, Papyrus for a start. I don't think he's a very good card in all honesty. Usually it's Oni or Glide that you'd be looking for in your starting hand, but occasionally it's a good idea to get Sans, your first thing, dead, so that you can resurrect him. He's not quite as good as resurrecting the pure stats, but he's not bad either, and he's cheaper than the other alternatives. Hypergono is a lifesaver in this deck. No coffins yet, but there's 3 left in the 19 cards left in the deck, so we're not going to be too unlikely to... it's not going to be very likely that we don't draw one sometime soon. Although it is a bit concerning. Usually we just mulligan everything if we don't have a coffin, but there I was pretty confident we'd get one, because for most games I've had with this deck so far, I've been able to get one reasonably fast. I didn't really want to play Sans there, but it will kill the Jerry, and it's a real waste of damage to attack the Oni into the Jerry next turn. Besides, this might make him avoid attacking the Oni to let it go, which would let me grow it stronger if he goes for the Sans instead. Oh, is he going to try and kill off the Sans? Oh, he's got to attack the Jerry and then. Thank you. Okay, this is an interesting deck this guy's playing, because I'm taking a lot of damage from that Lauren. Still, I don't think it's enough. I don't think Lauren is a very good card. I don't think it's useless. I definitely think there's a potential there, but I don't really think... I think there needs to be more tools in the game before Lauren can really be a useful card. Okay. Based. Is it worth Gaster blasting that just to get Oni? Nah, I think it's better to develop the stats. I don't think we really need to save the Oni if we can play a Glide now. So this is working without the Coffins, although it does a lot better with them. Anyway, so you might be wondering why I'm not running any card draw with this deck, and why I'm running not Perseverance, Preservation. I don't know why I always get those two words mixed up. Well, I guess they are kind of similar in spelling, but yeah. I play no card draw unless you count Resurrection, because since every card is expensive, you actually get a full hand pretty quickly. And Resurrection, in fact, is one of the cards I'm thinking of cutting, because usually it doesn't actually see much use. I'm mainly keeping it in for the flavour of the deck. I mean, in theory, if we're going to be using Coffins, we'd also want to be using Resurrections. The theory works out, it's just I don't think it actually, in practice, is that good. So I might cut the Resurrections, but I'm not sure what else I'd add in. Probably a second Coffee Man and maybe a second Gaster. Oh yeah, I never got around to saying that. Gaster, you may wonder, again, why is he in the deck? Because he's not a good target for Resurrection. And I can see what you mean, but although Gaster's cheap, you don't usually play him out early. And if you do play him out early, he almost never dies early. So, actually, so far, I've not had a single game where Gaster has put himself in the graveyard, and that's caused a problem for me. Usually, I either make sure that the Gaster just doesn't die. I don't play the Gaster until I've used all of my Coffins. Speaking of which, we've gotten through a decent amount of the deck and still haven't seen any Coffins. That's kind of bad. Oh, that Scarf Mouth is kind of damaging. We're actually going to get rid of that Igloo. I was going to ignore it at first, but I'm just thinking if it summons Taunts, that could be the difference between a kill here and a loss. Because these glides are very important. Wait, if he's going to put Astigmatism in there, is he going to not leave that glide alone? Like, if he just leaves that glide alone, then we're in a pretty good spot. Why is he playing Ice Cap? Is he just a moment? Oh, is he trying to kill the Frozen Glide? Yeah, that'd be kind of annoying. Wait, what? Is he going to charge the Ice Cap into the Glide then? Oh wait, I forgot. Astigmatism got updated to add Luxus to your hand if there's nothing it can kill. So is he looking for a Lux? Is that really good? Oh, but he's got an almost empty hand, that's why. I know this isn't the best Asgore ever, but being Determination, you usually don't get really good Asgores. And really, he's mainly in this deck just because he's another big, expensive card that you can get from Coffins. Right, this is a pretty threatening board here. And yeah, you can see it. Right, so I guess that was actually oh whoa, what I don't. Bleh. That was the closest I've had to a kind of middling game there, where we didn't go super late game, but we also didn't really kill him instantly. But that was kind of more on the quick win side of the deck, so I'm going to replay it, but I'm probably going to do it for a second episode, because when this does get a long game, it usually goes on for ages, so it probably warrant its own 15 minutes, so I'm going to keep playing until I get one of those long games to show you, so you get the idea of the two sides of the deck. So anyway, see you in the next one. Bye.